maybe, and you notice somebody that you didn't really want to run into. Some of you are smiling, shaking your heads, you're nodding. You're thinking about that time that's happened. You're like, you're in Walmart, and you're, I think I remembered something this way, right? Okay. And, you want to avoid the encounter. And probably a lot of us have done that at different times, because it might be awkward, it might be uncomfortable, or you just rather not deal with it. Hello, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's just some people, but aren't you glad this morning that Jesus doesn't do that? He doesn't turn and go, there's Mark, I don't want to deal with Mark. No, I don't want to deal with Fred or Paul. No, he doesn't do that, right? And so that's what's striking about Jesus. He doesn't avoid broken people. He doesn't avoid people that have issues. Because guess what? I'll let you in on a secret. You may not know this, so I'll let you in on a secret. Okay, y'all ready for this? We all have issues. Hello? And so, but I'm so glad he doesn't avoid us. Actually, he moves towards the broken people, towards the people with issues. Matter of fact, in Luke chapter 8, Jesus does this very intentionally. Now, before I get to it, let me kind of just set up the context here of what Luke is talking about. If you were to go to Luke chapter 8, Luke was a historian. He went back and he recorded what, the life of Jesus, where we get the book of Luke, one of the four Gospels. Well, in Luke's account in chapter 8, he's talking about how Jesus and the disciples have been traveling around Israel, and Jesus has been preaching. Crowds are gathering. He's healing people. He's performing miracles. I mean, he's teaching things that they've never heard before. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And so all these people are around Jesus, with Jesus. He's got the 12 disciples with him. And so that's kind of the context of where we are here in Luke chapter 8. When suddenly Jesus says this, Luke chapter 8, verse 22, he says this to his disciples. One day Jesus said to his disciples, let's go to the other side of the lake. Now, let me just pause right here and say, what lake are they talking about? It's called the Sea of Galilee lake in Israel. It's something like, I think, 15 miles long, miles wide. I mean, this ain't a little pond. Hello. This is a big body of water. And so they're near the Sea of Galilee. They're here in this area. And Jesus is saying, let's get in a boat. I want to go to the other side. So they got in the boat. Now, we know that several of the disciples were experienced fishermen, which means that, they had experience being in boats, being out on the lake. So Luke then describes this little story a lot of us are familiar with, that, as they get into the boat, and as they start to head out, now it's where they're at, it's about, depending on exactly where they were, to get to the other side is 5 to 7 miles across. Now, how many knows that they don't have an outboard motor? Okay? All right. They're most likely doing this number, kind of rowing, but depending on, what kind of breeze they had going on, it's going to take them at best